Hi, Tokwe. My name is Toyin.
Hello, Tony. Nice to meet you.
I hope it was not difficult getting into Zoom.
It was not difficult. I initially had some issues with my internet connection, but I called my internet service provider and they were able to get it fixed. So thank you for asking.
Oh, that must be hard for you. I'm glad you got that all fixed.
Yeah, it's working perfectly well now.
Oh, all right. Thank you for the effort you made in coming for this meeting. Like I said earlier, my name is Toyin. I am a psychiatric nursing student in this clinic, and I'll be having an interview with you today. I'll be asking you some questions. They might kind of look different, but don't worry. It is just for me to know you and see how things are with you. If you have any questions, let me know. Yeah, the interview will be for 30 minutes, and at the end of the meeting, I'll wait for you to leave the Zoom meeting before I end the meeting.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. I'll begin by letting you know that we have a confidentiality policy, which means that everything we discuss here will be confidential. The only people that have access to it will be our healthcare team, which includes doctors, nurses, social workers, and a lot of others. The reason for that is that you do not have to repeat yourself anytime you come into the clinic. Um, the only circumstances that we must breach confidentiality is if there is an imminent risk to yourself or others, including during the commission of a crime and court orders. I will also have to disclose if there's a risk to any vulnerable person, like people that are underage, the elderly, and people with developmental disabilities.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Do you have any question regarding our confidentiality policy?
No, I don't have any questions. Okay with it.
Okay. What brings you in today?
Well, I came here because I'm having problems adjusting in and settling in Winnipeg. I moved to Winnipeg like 4 months ago from Vancouver, and it has been a hell of time for me since I moved here. I've been having issues adapting to the weather. I have been having issues connecting with my colleagues at work because really, I see them as strangers, and I've been having some issues settling down generally, which has been affecting my mood and making me feel lonely. And I'm very lonely because I don't have my family here and I don't have social ties here. I've noticed that for like 3 weeks and things have not been very okay with me.
Okay. So why did you move to Winnipeg?
Um, I'm a software programmer by profession. So I got the job offer here with an increase in pay, and I decided to take the opportunity and moved here.
So you moved here because of the job, is that's what you're saying?
Yes,
And you don't have any family connection here?
I don't have any family here.
Hmm? Do you have friends and family in Vancouver?
Yes, my dad lives in Vancouver, and I have three other siblings there. I lived there for a long time, and I have lots of friends in Vancouver, and I would say that Vancouver is my home.
Oh, okay. Um, you mentioned having problems connecting with your coworkers. Are your coworkers not nice, or is it because you're finding it hard working in Winnipeg?
No, well, my coworkers are very nice. They are a nice set of people. and they are very fine. And as a matter of fact, they tried to invite me to some couple of outings and over the weekend to have a chat or a drink. But I declined because of my social anxiety. I don't know how they will judge me, and I don't know how to tell them. They're like strangers to me because, like I rightly said before, and I'm not familiar with them. I would say that there is no connection with the way I feel. So I'm having some issues relating with them.
So, at your workplace, you do have some issues relating and connecting with your coworkers. Has that has any impact on your work output?
No, my work output has been very fantastic. I've been meeting my objectives. I get nice reviews from my supervisors every 2 weeks. It commends my work as a matter of fact. My issue with my colleagues is not affecting my work output at all. And I'm a programmer, as I said earlier. So I do my coding that requires me to work alone.
I see.
Yeah, you really do not need people when you code because you can always work alone.
Okay.
So it is something you can do alone, even though you work as a team. That's the way coding works. So most of the time, I prefer to work alone, and this has not been affecting my output. And that's the way I've been doing it before now. It doesn't affect my output at all.
So, from what you're saying, you prefer working alone
Yeah, I prefer working alone.
and you try to avoid collaborative work that will involve you working with your colleagues.
Yes, I do.
So like how often do you like or do you have options to choose whether to work alone or work collaboratively with your colleagues?
Okay, with that, I have the privilege of asking for a collaborative work. Uh, my supervisor notices that I have been having challenges connecting with my colleagues. So he also encourages me to do more collaborative work. I told him I have preference for working alone.
So you have an option to ask your supervisor to give you more collaborative works.
Yes, I do.
Okay. How many hours do you work daily?
Currently now I work 9 to 10 hours, which is longer than what I used to do in Vancouver. It's a longer shift here.
Hmm. You said you have social anxiety. How is it affecting the other aspects of your life, like your sleep pattern and your mood?
Yes, it does affect my sleeping pattern, and I would say that it has been affecting my sleeping pattern. As you know, I normally sleep less because of the longer working hours. I sleep less than 4 to 5 hours a day, and most times I lay in bed. I will not be able to sleep whenever I lay in bed. I've not been eating healthy because of the longer working hours, and I end up just buying out junk food outside, and most of the time I eat outside.
Yes. Hmm.
I know it's not healthy for me, but I think it's all attached to what I'm feeling right now.
Okay. So when you're feeling kind of low, do you normally eat a lot of food?
Yes, I do. I eat a lot of food.
Um, have you noticed any mood change since you moved to Winnipeg? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how will you rate your mood when you're in Vancouver and now that you're in Winnipeg?
Okay, on that note, when I was in Vancouver, I see myself as a cheerful person with a high mood. Let me say I will rank myself on a scale of 8. I say very jovial with that. And since I moved here, my mood has really gone down low, and I've been very lonely and alone. So with that, I would rate myself on a scale of 4. Really, I've not been feeling great since I moved here. Adapting to the situations around me here has been a great challenge for me.
You mentioned the change in your sleeping pattern. When you were in Vancouver, how many hours do you normally sleep?
Yeah, so in Vancouver, I normally sleep a minimum of 8 hours, in Vancouver. But since I moved here, I've not slept up to 5 hours. My hours of sleep here is around 4 hours.
Do you feel like the change in sleeping pattern is because you are having problem adjusting to the weather here in Winnipeg, or because you're lonely, or is it because you're finding it hard to connect with people here in Winnipeg?
I would say it's a combination of all the factors that you mentioned now. Um, you can imagine waking up, you know, in the morning to a weather of minus 30 degrees, and you still have to go out. The weather here is terrible.
Yeah, Winnipeg weather can be really bad.
It's terrible for me adapting to the weather. Vancouver is a very warm place, but here the weather is very cold. Sometimes I find it very difficult to sleep at night. In fact, I'm alone that even none of my families cannot imagine the kind of weather that I'm experiencing. I know I don't have that fun because I still don't have family connection here, and I've not been able to build bridges in my workplace. So I don't even have friends in my workplace, and most times after work, I just go home straight, coupled with the bad weather, which will not even allow me to explore the city.
Mm.
Yeah, so I noticed that I really have not even been dressing in accordance to the weather, and I wear my trouser, jean, or just my pants, and I wear a t-shirt, and that's what I've been doing here. Sometimes when I step out, I notice that it's cold like crazy. I never knew I needed to check the weather app to know what the weather is going to be before I go out.
Yes.
Yeah, I normally go out, and it has not been fun for me at all. When I try to go out alone.
I know. When you live in Winnipeg, you must get accustomed to checking the weather all the time before going out.
Yes, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, dressing appropriately for the weather can be good. This is because the weather in Winnipeg can be crazy and cold.
Yes, yes, yes. I totally agree.
Yeah. Okay. In terms of your workplace, how do you feel? You said you're worried about what your colleagues think about you. Have you heard anyone say something bad about you or your work, or this is just what you feel about your coworkers? Like you just feel you just feel maybe like your perception about them. That is why you're thinking of what your colleagues think about you. Is that it?
To be very honest, nobody has ever complained about my work, and I would say maybe it's just my own personal perception and how I feel.
Okay. Now we'll be working on setting on setting some goals.
Okay.
Before we do that, you mentioned a lot of problems. You said you're feeling lonely, you have social anxiety, you have problem adjusting to the weather, you have problems relating and connecting with your colleagues at work,
Yes.
and that's why you prefer to work alone than to do a collaborative work.
Yes.
You also mentioned that you eat junk food and that you have problems sleeping at night.
Yes.
You mentioned that you do not have friends in social networking in Winnipeg.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, these problems are quite huge. We may not be able to tackle them all in this session. We need to narrow it down to focus on just two problems. Then we can set a goals for these two problems, and then on subsequent session we can work on other problems.
Okay, that's fine.
So, which problem do you want us to focus on?
Okay, so I would prefer if we can set a goal for adapting to the weather and also how to work collaboratively with my colleagues so I can build connections at my workplace.
Hmm, that's a good choice. Okay, let's focus on setting the goal for getting used to the weather. Um, what do you feel or what do you think is needed and necessary for you to get adapted to the weather and acclimatize to Winnipeg weather?
So I noticed that I came to Winnipeg just with a jacket, but from what I'm seeing, it seems that the jacket is useless. It does not protect me from the cold. I think I need to go buy a jacket that is really made for the Winnipeg weather. Um, I will also buy good weather wears, such as the meeting gloves. I don't even have winter boots.
Oh, you really need a good winter boot if you want to live in Winnipeg.
Yes, I agree. The boot that I came with is not really working. Maybe when I dress appropriately for the weather, I will adapt.
Yes. So when do you intend getting the winter wears?
I intend getting them after this meeting.
Oh, that's good. Is there any store you have in mind to go get these things?
Yes, there is a store that is a 3 minutes drive to where I live that sells winter stuff. So I will go there.
Oh, that's awesome. So what time would that be? What time do you want to go there?
Let's say 2 hours after our meeting.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it will help you adapt to the weather. If you dress appropriately according to the weather, you know.
Mm, okay.
Okay, so let's talk about working with your colleagues. What do you feel is necessary to do so? Like in terms of working with your colleagues, what do you feel or what do you think, you know, you can adjust and connect with them and relate with your colleagues at work?
Well, I think I will work on my society anxiety, my social anxiety rather,
Okay,
and I will let go of fear,
okay,
the nagging feelings I have in me by asking more collaborative work from my supervisor. So, in other words, I'm going to ask my supervisor to give me more collaborative work. That's what I'm going to do. And I'll be open to my supervisor that I need more opportunities to work with my colleagues. I think we can start from there and see how it goes. When I do want to do collaborative work with my colleagues, I think things should be fine, and we'll see how things goes, whether it's going to help me to build my connections with them.
Okay, that's awesome. So when do you want to ask your supervisor about that?
I will ask him on Monday, this coming Monday.
Okay, good. So how many times would you like to work with them in a week with your colleagues? How many times would you like to work with them?
Yeah. So I think right now I want to be working with them every day.
Oh, that's nice. But you kind of have issues, working with people. Maybe you can start by reducing the number of days and hours as well, so that you don't get overwhelmed with having to relate with them. I think we should start little by little. So how many days do you think you can start with?
So maybe I can start with once in a week.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Okay, what about the number of hours and which day we used to start that?
Yeah. So with the number of hours, I would do like 3 hours once a week, and I will start on Wednesday between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m.
Good. Yeah, if you can work with your colleagues, and interact with them and get to know them, you will be able to connect with them.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Can you summarize the two goals that you have set for yourself today so that I know you understand and like both of us are on the same page?
Yeah. So in terms of the two goals that you have talked about, um, we agreed that after this session, I'm going to buy winter accessories that is appropriate for the Winnipeg weather. And I will also wait with my supervisor to ask for more collaborative work. Once a week, at least 3 hours every Wednesday, to allow me to work in the team with my colleagues. That will help me to know them and build connections with them.
Hmm, that's good. Okay, we have few minutes left. So in our next session, we will evaluate the outcome of these goals and make recommendations and see the ones that works. Yeah. So I will help you with setting up meeting for our next session.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you my card. If in case you need any information or anything, just feel free to call me. And if you have any problem, you can call the office.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So I'll wait for you to leave the meeting before I end the Zoom.
All right. Thank you very much. So I'll be leaving the meeting right now. Thank you very much for your time.
Hot. Oh my. This video not easy for me. Okay. Okay, I'll be going to the briefing questions. I'm gonna get my book to know what is. Oh, sorry, I'm still on video. Okay, yeah. So the debriefing question says, what emotions were you aware of in yourself during or after the experience? The emotions. I was jittery in. I was jittery inside of me. I wasn't too composed, even though the meeting is not even though the meeting wasn't face to face, it was Zoom, but I still wasn't comfortable at the beginning. But gradually, while I was talking to the client, I became a little bit relaxed. But even at that, I was trying to think of what the client is gonna say next and what I need to say. Yeah, and that's. So at the beginning, that's the part where I was feeling jittery and not composed. Yeah, so reflect on your most significant learning from the interview about yourself, about the client, and about the process. Um, my most significant learning about myself is I need to relax. I need to be myself, like not yeah, I'm still gonna be in the moment with the clients, but like I need to relax so that I'll be able to help my clients. Then about my client was okay. Um, yeah, my client was okay. I briefed my client about what my clients would be doing before now. So was trying to work towards that area, but yeah. And the the counseling process is I what's gonna be worked on. I'm gonna do more workings. I know it's not something I'm used to, but like with gradual learning from the class, I'm beginning to understand to see how it goes, and it's a learning process for me, and I'm still learning, and I can see myself making progress. Yes. So reflect on your strengths and limitations as a counselor as a result of this experience. Yeah. Um, my strengths, um, my strength is being able to follow on with my clients, and my limitations is I know with more practice I'm gonna do better. I'll do better. I would I would mm, I'll do better, and with more practice it's gonna get more better. Yes, and I will be there for my clients. Thank you.